All right, look, skip the intro. We getting straight to the bit bobs. You hear me? So, all right. So I'm making this video because I want to ask a question to our people, right? And by our people, I'm talking about the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Now, the question I want to ask is this: why is it that we believe everything that America tells us? This is something I really noticed, bro. Like, our people are gullible. You hear me? Like, we believe everything that they told us in this country. Now, to be fair, when I say everything, I don't literally mean everything. Feel me? There's always going to be an exception to the rule, but it's strength in numbers and the majority wins. Like, the vast majority of our people in America believe the vast majority of the things that was taught to us by the so-called white man, right? Our oppressor. And it's just like, because you notice that whenever you try to correct a so-called black person, right? Whenever you try to correct our people, they always revert back to what was taught by the white man. You tell them, oh, you're not a black person and you're not African American, you're an Israelite according to the Bible. They say, no, I'm black. Look at my skin, I'm black. Pointing at the color brown, but saying I'm black. And then you ask them, okay, who told you was black? Like, what do you mean who told me I was black? I was born black. It's just like they don't even understand, you feel me, what I'm trying to point out to them. And it's like, it made me think, like, why do y'all got so much faith in these white people? Like, why? I understand you want to forgive them and Jesus died for everybody and, you know, all white people ain't bad people and all the shit our people like to say, right? But who's to say that these people are trustworthy? Why is it that we have to believe every word they say? We don't fact check nothing, by the way. We don't. We don't fact check anything. We do not do our due diligence. If it's said, if thou sayest, it's the truth. But if I come, right, not even just me, but just anybody try to, you know, correct them, they automatically, now it's time to validate what's being said. You feel me? Now, you gotta prove it to me. Like, prove to me that what you saying is the truth. But you ain't asked the white man to prove nothing. You just took it at face value and said it was the truth. So, we gotta stop believing that everything that they have told us is the truth, because for centuries these people have been lying to us. Like, that's ultimately the point that I'm trying to make in this video. For centuries they have been lying. They're liars. America is a house of lies. You just don't know it. Why? Because you're too distracted, you're too entertained, right? You're too gullible. You just believe what your grandmother said, or what your father said, or what your mother said, or what your pastor said, not knowing that everything that your grandmother is saying, that your mother is saying, that your pastor is saying is something that's being regurgitated. It's something that was taught to them. And it's just a never-ending cycle of indoctrination. It's just a never-ending cycle of being lied to. So I just want to point out a few things, right? I ain't going to keep y'all here long. I just want to point out a few things, right? Let's start with black. Black is a color. Let's just be real. Do you see this jersey? This jersey is black. Right? If you got eyes to see, it's evident that my skin in this jersey is not the same color. I have never met a black person in my life. Now, we got phones, you know, We got Google shit. We even got Chat GPT. You feel me? All these AI overviews and like we in the age of information. Like this shit is just as accessible as McDonald's, as a liquor store, as the 700 churches in your neighborhood. Like, quick Google search. Do you know back in the 60s, being called black was a derogatory term? Like, this is something that's new. You probably wasn't born, right? But ask your fathers and your mother and your grandmothers, if they know, which they should, being called black was a derogatory term. That was an offensive term. Because when you look into the word black, it means everything negative, i.e. blackballed. Blacklisted, the black market, and it's a few more compound words dealing with black. And everything that I just named is negative. Those are not good things to be a part of. You feel me? But we're called black people. And then when you deal with the word white, you go to find out that white means everything positive. It literally means pure. And they call themselves white people, but call us black people. Right? There's no country called black. You can't go visit the country of black, bro. There's no ancestor that we're going to be able to find. You're not going to be able to trace your lineage to some man whose name was black. So it's like, but we call ourselves black. We're proud to be black people. This is what they taught us. Right? The people who teach us everything, this is the identity they gave us, bro. This is who, you gotta understand. It's like, it's like if you missing a sock, and that one sock is buried beneath a bunch of clothes, and on top of those clothes is some sheets, and on top of those sheets is some pillows, and on top of the pillows is some shoes. The truth is buried beneath a bunch of fucking lies that they've been telling us for centuries, good brother. For centuries. You gotta dig, because before they was calling us black, we was African Americans. And before African Americans, we was colored people. And before colored people, we was Negroes. And before Negroes, we was Hebos. But you understand what I'm saying? It's like your identity doesn't change, bro. It's in your blood. So why is it that our identity keep changing? You feel me? But that's just one lie. Another lie. Happy wife, happy life. Where is that in the Bible, bro? Where does it say that we're supposed to pedestalize women and put women above men? Because I hate the fact that today, right, Americans, it's because it's really Americans. It's really the people, it's Americans, bro. In any other country or society governed by white people that's influenced by an American way of living or an American way of thinking, we just think we know more than everybody. We evolved and we're the good masters and no, bro. Clearly the people before us knew something that we don't apply, or maybe even something that we don't know to the point where we made it to today. Because you see how we living today? What's legal in America and what's accepted. I guarantee you, if we was living this way since the beginning of time, we wouldn't have made it this far. We made it this far living the natural way. Now, were people perfect? Did everybody do the right thing? No, but for the most part, we had our foundational way of doing things. And we're just trying to completely do away with that. Happy wife, happy life is not a natural way of living. It's not according to the Bible. Science, biology doesn't say that's the way it's supposed to be. Common sense. It's just you see what happens when you live by this happy wife, happy life. You get left in the dust. Okay? You get left in the fucking dust. This is why the divorce rates are as high as they are. This is why we got single parent households governed by women. This is why men are no longer feared and respected. Because we're choosing to put women above men and acting as if this is the way it should have always been. But this is another lie that they told us. If y'all want to live like that, because they've been doing this. They've been allowed, like, we can go back to the 1930s, right? When America went over to Saudi Arabia, and then, you know, they just found some oil in I think it was called Darham, or I believe it was called Darham. It was a little country over near Saudi Arabia, and that's when they really, like, the Saudi Arabians and America got in bed, and, you know, they was working together for the oil when they got rich. But the point is, they built like a little they built the military base, they built the little city, and like the people of Saudi Arabia was disappointed. They felt a certain type of way. Why? Because America came to their country on their soil, practicing their American ways, allowing this was in the 1930s, allowing their women to drive, allowing their women to wear pants, allowing their women to do whatever the fuck they wanted. So this is how they live. And they're pushing their ways, and, you feel me, their way of life on us, and then telling us that this is the way God said it's supposed to be. This is the right way. There's no other way. You feel me? So this is what they've been doing. This is their culture, if you will. It isn't our culture. I don't know why we want to be just like them and practice everything they practice. No. Which brings me to my last point, bro. Another lie they told us: Jesus is God, right? And I really want to break this down because there's so much scripture that disproves this. I just can't, you know, do it in this video, you know, unfortunately. But I'm just going to give you the basic concept, I'm going to show you in totality, like, what was the end goal. The end goal was to convince so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that the white man is God. Okay, they lied and said who the world called Jesus, ignorantly called Jesus, was the only man to walk the earth who did not sin. He was the only man that was blameless. He was the only man that was perfect. That's not true. That's not true. Okay, Cornelius was a blameless man. John the Baptist's father, Zacharias, I believe, was a blameless man. I believe, not Nicodemus. But it was people in the Bible who were blameless as well and who kept the law perfectly. But they did that to isolate, you know, to isolate Jesus and make him more profound. I don't even want to say more profound than what he really is, but you'll get what they were trying to do. So, boom, they said Jesus is God, right? Not a God, he's God. He's the Most High God in the flesh. Then they pushed the image of Jesus, which is a white man. Which, when you do your research, you see that's an actual painting. That's an image of a man named Caesar Borgia, a homosexual man that actually walked the earth. They didn't just come up with that image off the top of their head. This is an actual person who they decided to use as the image of Jesus. But the whole point was, if I convince you that Jesus is God, right, and then I push the image of a white Jesus, what am I saying in so many words? I'm saying that the white man is God. That's ultimate. It's not about Trinity. That's a lie too, but you gotta understand what the end goal was, like what they was ultimately trying to accomplish. They was trying to persuade our people, right? They wanted to put it in our inward parts, in our mind, in our spirit. They wanted to sear it within us, bro, that the white man is God. Why? Because Jesus is God. Jesus was a white man, and I'm white. So if Jesus is God, right, then I'm God. We come from the same. It's psychology, bro. It's psychology. So I just wanted to dispel a few lies, man. They told so many lies. I could be here forever doing it, but I don't want this video to be too long. Just think about what I'm saying, bro. Stop believing everything these people tell you. It's a wicked world. People better wake up or die in their sleep. You mad or not?